Hi, good morning. My name is Toby Olshanetsky. I'm the co-founder and CEO of prooV. Basically, prooV, we took the cloud to solve a very big pain, which is the POC, which is the proof of concept pain. Now, we came to this idea after basically 20 years of us building enterprise software startups. So this is not our first startup, not for me and my co-founder. And what we saw during the years is that it's becoming very challenging. How do we approach a CIO or CTO of an enterprise and trying to convince him to open for us a testing environment so we can actually do a proof of concept? And this has become more and more challenging. And the reason that became more and more challenging, it goes anywhere from regulation, legal, privacy, security, etc. But the demand for proof of concept became essential because no startup or no vendor can access enterprise without doing the POC. So we really wanted to make a change in this sector, so we created prooV. When doing so, we did a very big legwork of actually interviewing almost 200 enterprise and startup across the globe to really understand the pain of the POC from the enterprise point of view. For the startup, it's very obvious. For a startup point of view, you need to travel, you need to find the right CTO or CIO. How do you convince him to open for the testing environment, etc. But for the enterprise, what we saw is that there is three main elements on that pain of a proof of concept that we saw as a challenge for us to solve. So the first pain is actually, how do you find the right vendor? Only on this event, there's tens of startups, and there's about 150,000 startups across the globe. So how the enterprise find the right startup and makes the right choice to get him to the network or doing the integration and put the efforts on his side? So A, how do you find the right startup? B, once you find the right startup, how do you allow him to access your testing environment? And how do you have multiple vendors running simultaneously so you can actually have apple-to-apple comparison and not working in a serial mode, checking one vendor at a time? So we wanted to make a change so you can actually rapid the process of innovation. And the third point was, how actually do you know to measure the KPI of that technology? And you'll be surprised how many CTOs and CIOs that we've been speaking to worldwide, from financial organization to healthcare, larger car manufacturers, etc. When they are searching for new innovation, the issue of the KPI to check this innovation is sometimes a very big enigma. For example, let's take a financial institution, blockchain. So everybody's talking about blockchain. But how do you know how really to measure the KPI of a blockchain? So how do you can compare one blockchain company to the other? So we created all this knowledge that we have, and we created layers of KPIs that we can provide the enterprise. So the way that we are solving these three pains is very simple on our platform. So first of all, when you're signing to the platform as the enterprise, you have this marketplace that you are seeing all the startups and vendors, all the platform that are using prooV. Now, every company that are on the platform had to pass two types of due diligence check. So we are actually vouching and checking that every vendor that's on our platform, A, has a real technology, and this is a very big challenge because we are actually checking the technology of every vendor that's on our platform. And B, we want to make sure that this vendor is actually financially stable, because if this vendor will be connected to your environment, start doing POC, we want to make sure that it will not run out of money after 2 weeks. So we're doing these checks. The second thing is basically the testing environment. So we give you, as the enterprise, a wizard that you can build your own testing environment on our cloud. This is how we are using very much the different cloud infrastructure that's available. We are supporting more than 52 different connectors. So you can build a testing environment that's supporting anywhere from Docker containers to SaaS-based, cloud-based, up to Linux or Windows with RDS connection. So you can build your own environment. You publish this environment on our platform, and then you can upload 3 layers of different POC data that you can actually run this POC. Now, this data is, again, another thing which is our core competence, because this data is something that we generate for you. Either we are making a whole new set of data for you, so the issue of regulation, legal, of privacy is not out there anymore because we are using our data, or we can take your data and can do masking or anonymize to that. Another thing that we allow you to do is basically to see how each one of those vendors are running. So you will see in real time how each one of those vendors that's actually right now doing this POC are matching their KPIs, and you will see, and nobody can, sorry for my language, can bullshit you anymore with sending you screenshots or PDF file. They can actually see how each vendor is performing and what are the KPIs in real time of each one of those vendors that are running this POC. So suddenly, the issue of discovering, building the environment, and actually comparing the technologies was the solve in our platform. The way that it runs is very simple. You just come to our platform, you sign in, you set up the different POC, you open the testing environment, you publish the POC, vendors are coming, they're answering this POC, and they start doing the proof of concept. And at the end, you're seeing on your dashboard how each one of those vendors behave. Just to give you 2 case studies from recent POC that was just finished, but the powerful of the platform and how quick it is. So we have one enterprise, which is a Twin City Fan. It's one of the largest industrial fan manufacturer. They came to the platform with a BI POC that they needed to do. They published this POC. In 24 hours, they already got vendors that match this technology. And after a week of those vendors running this POC on the platform, they found this solution, and it saved them tons of money. Another example, this is the Israeli Dealmakers. So I took an Israeli case study. Isracard, this is the largest credit card provider in Israel. It's almost like MasterCard Israel. This is a heavy regulated industry under the restriction of Bank of Israel, regulation, trust authority, etc. For them to search innovation is a very hard problem because of that regulation. So they started working with us with one POC. They loved what they got, and gradually they opened 14 POC with 100 startups connected that was moved to 32, and a startup that already signed contract with them. This process of running 14 POC without prooV used to take them about 4 years with all the regulation, etc. With prooV, they finished this in 4 months. So this is how powerful our solution is for the enterprise. So I'll be more than happy to talk with you after the pitch, and thank you very much.